Good morning, this is Mission Control Houston. Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's edition of ISS Update this Wednesday, August 8th. We're coming to you live inside the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where the team here has been monitoring the systems aboard the station and supporting the day's activities of the Expedition 32 crew members. Leading the Orbit 2 team here in the Station Flight Control Room today is Flight Director Greg Whitney. Whitney is in the certification flow after recently being named Flight Director. He has supported space station activities as an operations planner and space shuttle missions as a flight activities officer, and supported 14 space station expeditions and 12 space shuttle missions. Next to him, serving as Capcom today, is Anna Fisher. She's relaying all ground messages up to the crew. The 6 members aboard the station include Russian cosmonaut and commander of the complex, Gennady Padalka, and flight engineers cosmonaut Sergei Revin, NASA astronaut Joe Akaba, cosmonaut Yuri Malenchenko, NASA astronaut Sunny Williams, and Japanese astronaut Aki Hoshide. Malenchenko, Williams, and Hoshide arrived at the International Space Station aboard their Soyuz TMA-05M. They docked to the Rossviet module on July 16, and they are now in the middle of their 4th week in space. Meanwhile, Padalka, Revin, and Akaba launched to the orbiting complex aboard their Soyuz 04M spacecraft as the Expedition 31 crew in May. Their vehicle docked to the Poisk module of the space station 2 days after their launch on May 14. Today, they will complete their 87th consecutive day in space. The space station with its crew aboard is flying at an altitude of about 251 statute miles. The orbiting facility on a northeastern track just made its way across Pakistan and Afghanistan and is now crossing over China and eventually Mongolia. After the crew's wake up at 1 a.m. Central Time this morning, the Expedition 32 crew participated in the first of 2 daily planning conferences with the ground controllers at mission control centers around the world to review today's activities. Station Commander Padalka began his day working to collect spacewalk tools, then participated in a study of cardio bioelectric activity. He and Malenchenko worked together to prep the Russian Orlan spacesuits. That is currently what they are working on now for the next Russian spacewalk, when Padalka and Malenchenko will venture outside the complex on August 20th. Malenchenko and flight engineer Sunny Williams transferred U.S. spacewalk tools to the Russian segment for use on the upcoming spacewalk. Williams is now working on a session with a Lego brick study that uses the common Lego bricks to demonstrate simple science concepts and how construction works differently in a microgravity environment. She had earlier this morning participated in a VO2 max session. VO2 max studies the microgravity effects on a crew member's aerobic capacity. And Williams, Malenchenko, and Commander Padalka will later review the DUG, or the Dynamic Onboard Ubiquitous graphics, for the upcoming spacewalk on the Russian segment outside the orbiting complex. That system, DUG, or application, is a visual simulation software that is used for spacewalk planning and the review of station robotic arm operations. Meanwhile, flight engineer Joe Akaba kicked off the day with more binary colloidal alloy testing, or the BCAT C1 research that looks at particles or colloids that are suspended in liquid. It focuses specifically on the effects of microgravity on phase separation. That is, phase separation is seen with oil and water here on Earth. This research may lead to better material processes. Akaba then will assist Williams in recording the Lego brick exercise later during this update hour. And a little before the hour, Akaba also took some time out to talk with reporters of WAPA TV of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and also Univision. Meanwhile, flight engineer Aki Hoshide is performing several medical experiments now He also then checked out the Cardiolab leg arm cuff system, and we'll spend some time troubleshooting the nanostep circuit. By the day's end, each crew member will have completed their daily 2 hours of exercise to help mitigate the negative effects of long-duration spaceflight on their bodies and maintain their physical health. They will do some help prep work for the next day and also will participate in their last daily planning conference of the day before their evening meals and pre-sleep period. The crew is now scheduled to go to bed at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. This is Mission Control Houston.